guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for October 3rd, 2021. So, I had a great reading week. The end of the month, I was rushing to get several more books done before the end of September to finish off my series September and Space Opera September. So, both of those were put on by different people. The series September was put on by Krista at Books and Jams, and Sarah's Nightstand, and Space Opera September is put on by Thomas at SFF 180. So I participated in both all month. I did fairly well. On the series one, again, I did a blackout on the bingo board. I was excited that I got everything done on that. And then on Space Opera September, I did at least 4 titles. So to me, that was really good for me. I wish I had gotten a little bit more science fiction in there, but anyway, we will work on it. I just had so much fun with my series. So it's kind of one of those things that's making me think about things about my series reading, which I've really neglected since joining BookTube. I admit it. I get kind of caught up in a lot of other things. I mean, I read a lot of other good things. It's just sometimes I neglect some of my old passions and loves. And I have to remember that I really am a series reader, and I have so many to read. So we'll see. Maybe next year I'll be focusing more on series and actually doing it, not just saying I'm going to. Anyway, so other than that, everything's going well. I did put up a BookTube spin list for BookTube spin number 4. That is put on by Rick Maxinell. So he's going to do his spin on Wednesday to say what of 20 books you're going to have to read. So I encourage you guys to get your list together or to put up, videos. Let me know if you're going to do that. I'm looking forward to it. I really like making lists of books I want to read and then letting Chance pick that one. So it's kind of interesting. I've had up and down, results on that. I've DNF'd a couple and I've really enjoyed a couple of them. So it's worked out. Anyway, so there is that. So I think that's kind of it. Other things is I, purchased windows for the duplex. My brother and I purchased the windows. So those are coming, but we're not going to get them until December. So installation probably won't be till next year, which kind of sucks. But, we at least got the ball rolling on that. The thing is, it's just so expensive. The windows weren't bad. It's going to be the installation that sucks. And all the stuff we have to do for that. But again, our windows are pretty old. I don't know if they're actually original to the house, but they're old. They're old aluminum ones, so I need new ones. Anyway, so that was kind of my big expenditure this week. So that is not that fun. I think that's kind of it. So so we're gonna talk about the books that I read this week, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm gonna read in the next week. And you guys may be able to help me pick which one of those books I'm gonna read, because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So I hit the wrong button. I started one of my, the first thing I finished was an audiobook. This came in from my library on, I think, on the weekend. So I started it on Monday at work, and I finished it that day because it's only like a 3.5-hour audiobook. And that is Rogue Protocol by Martha Wells. This is book 3 in the Murderbot Diaries. So I had read the other 2 as they came out, and I really enjoyed both of them. I like the first one the best so far. This one, this is like the 4th time I tried to read it. I tried it on physical twice and ebook once, and I just couldn't get past the first chapter or so. But audio got me past there, and then it got better. I think I had trouble with the beginning. It was just slow to me, and I never was in the mood for what it was trying to say, I guess. I don't know, but it went much better once I got into it, and the audiobook was really well done. And now I forgot who did the audiobook. I'm sorry. But he was a really good narrator, and I've already decided that I will continue the series on audio. So I've already asked for the next one, but it's like I'm number 9 of 3. On my Libby app, so it'll be probably a month or so before I get to it. But this is book 3, so we're continuing the story of Murderbot as it tries to collect information on a company that was bad guys in the first book. So it's his continuing, and then the next book is when he's, I think, going back with that information. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure where the series will go from that. This is book 3, and again, I know there's 6 out so far. So, anyway, so I'm looking, I did enjoy this. This was like a quick little extra that I was glad that the library, that it came through before the end of the month, because I didn't think of it until the beginning of the month, and then I put my name on the list and it took all month to get it, but I had forgotten that this was another series that I wanted to continue, and it's space opera, so I did get to that. So that was good. I'm glad I got that done. Then I had 2 books that I was reading physically that for series September, and one of them's for space opera September, and I wanted to get both of them done by Thursday, and I had this whole plan on Sunday. I was like, I'm gonna read this much of this book and this much of this book. So I think one I was supposed to read 60 pages a day, and the other one I was supposed to read 70 or 75 pages a day, and I'm like, I can do that, and I blew that out of the window in like Monday. I'm not good. I mean, I do read more multiple books at a time than I ever used to. But I still, when I want to finish something and I need to focus, I just go one book, one physical at a time. So I put down one book and focus on that. So the one I focused on first was the book that I was having the most trouble with, which was Sleeping Late on Judgment Day by Tad Williams. This is book 3 in the Bobby Dollar series, which is about urban fantasy with angels and demons and a lot of other monsters. And I really enjoyed the first 2 books, the first book the most, I think, of all of them. But this was really hard for me because the book came out in 2014, which once I realized that, as I think back, that is the year that I was out of work, and I did not read a whole lot that year. And I definitely didn't read new books. Like, I got books, that a couple of them that were pre-ordered and things, or, you know, and this book actually might have come out first in hardback and then paperback. I got it the next year. I can't remember, but I didn't read it the year it came out. And I'd read the other 2 in 2012 and 13 when they came out, because they came out one after, you know, one a year. And this one I never got to. And every year I've been trying to get this on TBRs, but I always look at it going, well, I don't remember a whole lot from the other books. I mean, I remember things, but not all the details. And the problem with Tad Williams is he writes so many good little details, and he does bring them back into the later books. And so it's so hard for me to you know, read a book and go, well, I don't want to reread the book before it, because do I need to know all that stuff? Yeah, usually you do. But this one I jumped right in, and so it was hard for me because all his little details, like, kind of, some of them I'm like, oh, I remember that. And then other ones would be like, I don't have a clue what he's talking about. And I felt bad because I was missing all those little Easter eggs and things. But I just wanted to get this done. And again, the main character was starting to annoy me because I think it's because I was out of his perspective for so many years that it was hard for me to jump into the 3rd book. And that's totally my mistake. It's not the book's fault. But in this one, we're following the conclusion of all the things that have happened in the first couple books. And again, it's very much the urban fantasy noir kind of mystery ones, but again with angels and demons, and it's in first person, and his cast of characters are hilarious, like all different kind of people. There's a lot of good in here. I wish I'd read them all back to back, but you know, as I said, can't go back in time and do that. So I would still recommend this series. It just didn't do as much for me as it would have if I'd read this back closer to when 2014 or 15. I probably would have been okay, but yeah, 2021, no. I think I was too far away from this. So, but I'm glad I finished it. It's finally done. It was one of those ones I was hanging out on my finish a series, you know, the last book in the series, and it took me all these years to get to it. So I finally finished it. I can finally say that that's done. Now, what makes me mad is that this was a new book when I got pre-ordered the paperback, and it was already, there's like pages falling out. Like, I only read this one time. I don't know why there's a couple pages falling out in the middle of this book. Kind of upsetting. Anyway, but oh well. So anyway, I was really glad to get that done. Again, I think my experience wasn't as well, didn't go as well as it could have. I think other people will enjoy it more if they read all 3 books back to back, or really within a couple months of each other, not wait years like I did. And then I did read the little novella that comes afterwards. It's 3.5 in this series, called God Rest Ye Gentle Pig. Merry Gentle Pig. I'm sorry. So it's a Christmas short. It's like 49 pages or so. And we're following Bobby, and he because again, he's an angel, so he abdicates for the dead after they pass away, then advocate them to a judicial system to decide if they go to purgatory, they go to hell, or they go to heaven. And he is the advocate for that. And he meets someone who is almost 100 years old, and he has this, very, very brutal history, but most of it was done to him and stuff. So he wants to help him, but he says, my grandson was kidnapped by this mad Nazi scientist, and he was trying to find him before he passed away. So he goes there, and he decides, but he's also, the guy has some secrets of other things that he is. So Bobby enlists his friend, and his name I can't remember if his name is George. Oh, I can't remember now. It just went right out of my head. I had it a second ago. Anyway, but his friend is a werepig, which means that he has a curse on him, that he's when he's in the body of a pig, he has the brain of a man, and then when he is in the body of a man, has the brain of a pig. So he's only like he's very much into information and using the internet and stuff like that, and he's like an information gatherer. And so he works at night when he's in the body of the pig, but it has the brain of a man. And so but he takes him on this little venture, and then they go to rescue somebody. And it's just, again, it's really short. I think it's short and sweet. It's not one I would say you had to wait till the end of the series to read. I would read it definitely for sure after the first book, because you get to know the characters that are in it from the first book. Anyway, but I thought it was really cute. It actually kind of redeemed Bobby Dollar for me after stuff I didn't like in the end of the series. But I did like this little short. So I'm glad I finished it. But now that series is completely done for me. I can check that off, which is awesome. So, another kind of bonus thing that I read for series September is I started Victober a little early, and I couldn't help myself, but I have the Stephen Fry audiobook for Sherlock Holmes, and I last year forgot to listen to a section of it. So I had listened to the first two novels and then the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and I decided to listen to memoirs of Sherlock Holmes because I could not remember if I'd actually read those before. The other stuff I'd all read before, and so those are rereads, but this one I don't remember if I had read these ones all before. I might have read a couple, but I don't even think I read The Final Problem before, or else I have no memory of it. I knew stuff from cultural, stuff talking about, people talk about it, or pop culture or whatever, but I don't know if I actually had read that. So it was really interesting to listen to those stories because I did not remember the memoirs that much, if any. So I enjoyed that section. So I finished that up, I think on Thursday. So I finished it before Victober. So I did read some Victorian lit beforehand. But yeah, Sherlock Holmes was really good. And again, that Stephen Fry audiobook is so good. So the next section does not take place in my bind up here. I have another bind up because it was 2 books that has everything. So that one, but The Hound of the Baskervilles is the next section. And so because that was published serially, I think in 2001 and 2. So I'm still going to read it. I might read it for Victober still. If not, I'll read it probably in the next month or so. I just really want to get back into these, and I'm not sure I'm going to finish Sherlock Holmes this year, but I would like to get at least another couple sections done. I would like to finish it if I could, but I don't know. I have so many other audiobooks I want to listen to too. So maybe if I just listen to The Hound of Baskervilles, maybe later this month or in October. So we'll see. And then, so I finished Bobby Dollar, I think on Tuesday. So the Sleeping Late on Judgment Day. And so then the last couple days I had 270 pages left of this book. So Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey is a second book in the Expanse series. So I read this for Space Opera September and series September. So I have been meaning to get back to the series. I read the first book, Leviathan Wakes, 2 years ago for Space Opera September. So I really wanted to get back to this because I didn't get to it last year. And because again, in 2020, I was supposed to read most of these. But I didn't pick up the second book. So anyway, so now I got the second book done, and I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely a ride. I like it. They're just fast paced, and there's so much stuff going on, and I love the characters that were introduced in this book that add to that. And the ending just totally blew me. Like I was like, what the heck just happened again? They do that well. They have that little moment for me at the end of these books. Anyway, so I'm really looking forward to picking up the third one. What is it? Abaddon's Gate, I think is how it's said. Anyway, I'm hoping to pick up one more of these before the end of the year. The 9th book and final book in the series is coming out in November, but it's coming out in hardback, so I do have time to read all the ones I have, probably by the time the paper comes out in paperback, if I focus on this series. So this, I think, is going to be a series next year that I really want to try to focus on getting it done. But we'll see. At least I want to read, said one more this year, and maybe focus on the rest of the books for next year. I'm not sure, but they're just so much fun. And I have not watched the series on TV yet. I've only watched the first episode that I had, like, recorded when it first came out, when I had a HD recorder or whatever you call it, a DVR. Is that what it's called? God, it's been so long. Anyway, and I did watch that, but I didn't get to watch any more. So I do want to read at least one more book before I start watching the series, but I'm also not a very good series watcher, so we'll see. But I really did enjoy this one, and I definitely want to continue. So this is definitely a series I want to pursue. And then the last one I finished was The Uncommon Reader by Bennett. So I'd heard about it somewhere. I don't even know now. I got it from the library really quickly, but I can't remember who talked about this. So anyway, it's a little 120 pages, a little, I would say it was pretty much a novella, about the Queen of England, who, when, you know, she decides that she, in her late 70s, decides that she becomes a reader, and the things that happen with the people around her and with her during that period. And there was a lot of stuff I liked about this. I liked the beginning. I liked how she started her reading journey, and things that they talked about, and the people that she did talk to reading about. What I didn't like about this, and again, it's not bad. It's just, I was so frustrated for her, for the people around her who didn't like her reading. And it really upset me, the things that they thought and said about her, because she was getting so into reading. And I just thought that was just, I was just so mad for her. Like, I was like, that's just mean that they wouldn't let her have that joy. Anyway, so this went in directions I didn't expect by the end, and I think the very end, I'm like, yeah, whatever. It was, again, this was written in 2007, so yeah, it didn't come to pass what happens in here, but I still think it was an interesting way to go. It's, as I said, I didn't love it. I just think it was fine. I think it was still a good read. It was still interesting. I have to admit that when I picked it up, when I got it from my library, I thought this was like, about Queen Victoria, and no, it's more about the current Queen of England, and it threw me off at first until, you know, like, I think my first inkling that it was not like it was not a historical, it was more modern times, it was the library van, and I go, oh, wrong era. So that was my fault, because I didn't read it. I don't think I really looked into it after I got it from the library. I just started reading it. So anyway, I think this was interesting. I'm glad I read it. But, I mean, again, I had issues with it, but really, I really felt sorry for her with the people around her. And I feel sorry for her. Anyway, so those are all the books that I finished. I did already do my board, because I have filmed this. Yeah, I filmed it once before. So I did get to add one for the 500, for over 500 pages. And then I got to put in 4 check marks for continuing and another one for finish. So I actually finished 3 series this month. That's pretty good. Doesn't happen that often. Sorry, I need a drink. So my series September went really well. Let's just put it that way. So, I haven't finished, I did finish this was not in series, but I finished that yesterday. So, I did, so we'll talk about the books that I'm in the middle of. So I'm still reading Dune slowly. I just read this at night, late at night when I'm right before bed, just because it's a book I've read. I think this is my 7th time reading it. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And, I'm just reading it before the movie comes out. My brother just got HBO Max, so I get to watch it too. So I'm excited now because I'll get to watch the movie, but I'm not sure if I want to go see it first in the theater or I want to watch it at home first and then go to see it in the theater. I really kind of want to watch it in IMAX, but we'll have to see. So Dune, again, is one of my favorite science fiction novels. I know a lot of people have trouble with this book getting into it. I find it a comfort read, which is hilarious. Like, I think it's so funny when I hear people talk about how dense it is and everything, and I'm like, you know, I'm just enjoying this. And again, it could be because I've read it so many times that I don't have to think about those things anymore. I've already gotten past a lot of the concepts, but I do learn something new every time. There's a couple scenes in here I'm like, I didn't remember that. Oh, I forgot about that, because it has been for me, did I say 8 or 9 years since I read it last? So again, it's been a great read so far, reread. So I'll just continue on in October, here and there reading it. It's not high priority. Did start King Solomon's Mines by H. Rider Haggard. So I read his book in September and really enjoyed it. I'm not enjoying this quite as much. So this is an adventure novel written in published in 1885. And we're following Alan Quatermain as he is hired to take Sir Henry and his friend, I think is it Captain Good? Yeah, Captain Good. So they're going to find Sir Henry's brother George, who went in search of King Solomon's Mines a couple of years before and has been lost. We don't know where he went. But Alan has a few hints of what happened because he met somebody else who had gone the same way. And so they're going on a trip to try to see if George is alive or dead. And again, I've only read 25%. There's a lot of stuff that's already happened. So I'm interested to see how this goes. I don't like this quite as well as she. I don't know if it's because Alan Quatermain is a hunter. And there's a lot of hunting stuff in here. And there's a lot of mention of, you know, how much killing is done. And it's so sad to hear about how many animals were just killed. That was hard for me. But other than that, the adventure's been, as I said, Haggard is so good at writing the scene of Africa. I think his descriptions of Africa are fascinating. I like that he is very cognizant of that there are different tribes in Africa, of different people. Like, he tries to be distinct, but he is still an author of British descent with colonialism, and there's still a lot of little things in there that are kind of annoying. But I think as I said, he does better than some other ones that I've read about that stuff. So if you can get past that, as I said, the adventure is the part that is the most interesting, and it never goes in ways I think it's going to, which I think is a sign of a good book. So anyway, I'm 25% of the way through that one, so I'm hoping to finish that off the next couple days. And my audiobook for Victober. Did I say Victober is all month long in October, and it's put on by Katie at Books and Things, Lucy the Reader, and Kate Howe, and it's reading Victorian literature published between 1837 and 1901. And so again, this is like my 5th year taking part, so sorry. I just kind of blew over that, but I really enjoyed doing Victober. So I always try to pick up quite a few things, as you can tell. So the other book, again, I'm doing by audio, is Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. This is book 3 in the Barsetshire series. I tried to read this whole series this year, but I burnt out on this one. So I'd read 70 pages of this in April. And April is never a good reading month for me. I have historically not done very well there. So I think this kind of suffered from that, and then I never got back to it. I didn't rejoin the group, kind of like, I've been a ghost in that in that group, which is kind of sad. But I do want to get at least this one done this year. So at least because I read The Warden in January and Barchester Towers in February and March. And as I said, this one I didn't finish. So I want to finish this one. I did make it about 137 pages in, so I'm beyond where I was in April. So I reread, I got an audiobook from Audible by Timothy West. So, which is really good. I think the narrator's really good. I forget how funny Anthony Trollope is sometimes, and it's nice that the narrator, to me, it's easier to see where his little comments are. The narrator has some snarky comments. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so overall, I'm enjoying this a little better than the first time I read it, but I'm still, again, it's about this, one of a smaller community next to Barchester, and it has, the doctor and his niece, and then the major, like the squire, who has a lot of land and his money troubles. His son, Frank, has just come of age, and of course he is thinks he's in love with Mary, but, you know, he's kind of boyish. He's just over 21, you know. And then we have a man who has come from very little and has gotten money and has been knighted, and he has a lot of property too, and he has his issues, and they're all connecting with Dr. Thorne in this community. And anyway, it's interesting so far. I'm enjoying it so far. A lot of people say this is the best one, so we'll see. I don't know yet. But anyway, so I'm listening to that. So I always talk so long, guys. Sorry about that. So let's just talk real quick about what I'm going to read in the next week. Today I'm reading with my buddy read of the Kate Daniels series by Elona Andrews. I'm reading that with Tia and all the books. I'm reading the 6.5 story that happens to be in this collection that I've had for many years, and I've never been able to read this story because it was 6.5 and I'd only read book 1 for so long. Anyway, so we read book 6 in last month, so we're going to read this one. It's Magic Steals, and it follows two characters that we got to know really well in another of the short stories. So again, this is a novella. It's about 80 pages. We're going to read this today. So I'll be able to finish this book and I'll get to read that story. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to this. Again, urban fantasy about an alternative Atlanta where magic comes and goes and flows, and then technology only works when the magic is down. And we're following shifters and Masters of the Dead and a lot of mythical creatures, and just it's a fun series. If you can get past the first book. The first book is just kind of, it's okay, and everything else is much better. So I'm really looking forward to this short story today. And then I'm hoping that I can do this library book. Sorry, my throat is starting to go. Too much talking. Buried Memories by Simon R. Green. This is book 10 in the Ishmael Jones series. So again, Simon R. Green's one of my favorite authors. And this is the current series that I'm following really closely. So when these come out, I get them right away from the library. I'm usually one of the first people to ask for it. So this just showed up, so I need to read this. It's only 184 pages, so I'm hoping to slip it in this week between my Victober reads. I do have a lot of library books coming in this month for books that are new books. So hopefully some of them I'll get to. This one for sure I'm going to read. Anyway, this is following Ishmael Jones, who is an alien. And they're like country manor murder mysteries, or English country manor murder mysteries. But we have that with a supernatural twist because he's an alien, and I love his partner Penny. She's just funny. They're hilarious back and forth. So this one is focusing more on his past, of what he remembers and what he doesn't, and some clues that they found. So this, I'm hoping to get to that, and then I'm hoping to start one of my major Victober reads. Is I want to either start Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens or Middlemarch by George Eliot. So I don't know which one I want to pick next after I finish King Solomon's Mines. So I don't know. Do you think I should go for the shorter one, because this is just under 500 pages, or go for the big one, which is 800 some pages? I don't know, what, 880 pages? That scares me. So I don't know which one I want to pick up first. If I want to try to tackle the small one first, or if I should just go for the big one and try to go for this. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one should I do first? And then if I need something extra, or if I decide to read this before those, I don't know. I kind of want to read Power of Darkness by which is the lost version of Dracula by Bram Stoker, and it was translated and edited and made into something else by Vladimir Asmundsen. So this translator changed the story, and I guess it's supposed to be tighter, and there's a lot of extra characters, and it's supposed to be sexier. I don't know, but I kind of want to read that. But I might slip that in. Again, another library book, so we will see. But let me know if I should start with which one of these. I don't know which I want to do yet, so maybe I just need someone to tell me. So anyway, that's it. What are you guys reading? Are you guys reading anything good? How was September for you? Are you looking forward to Victober? I'm excited, of course, because I've already started, but, you know, hoping to get a lot done. Anyway, I think that's it. I really am celebrating how many series that I continued in and I made progress in, and a couple that I finished. I think I did really well. So anyway, that's it, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.